Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. What's up? What's up, everybody? So, I sometimes do 2 to 3 streams a day. Sometimes more like three at times. You know how things space out. I've been really busy. Yeah, I spent a couple hours working on the prospectus. And yeah, spreadsheets, all this stuff. I'm like, I'm taking a break and logging into my game. So here I am. Yay! I'm here. President accounted for, I guess. So yeah. So it's interesting. Actually, it looks good. I can't complain. From a numbers perspective, it looks more than good. It looks great, actually. I'm more than happy with the work I'm putting in. I am more than happy. I am looking good. Definitely giving a shout out to all these other businesses, being quick to give me quotes and get the paperwork in, and so we can organize all of this. It's been great. It's been really, really good so far. So I'm very appreciative of these hard working men and women, making sure I get my quotes, giving me my quotes and stuff, so I can put this thing together properly. It's important. It's crazy. You never know how much number crunching is until you do it. Luckily for me, I took a couple years of accounting, so I'm familiar with how to organize things, I guess. Sort of. So, yeah. Anyways, so I'm going to be doing some content. I think I'm doing some content. I'm hoping to do some content. I'm going to actually also do my holiday event on this tune. Now, interesting enough to note. Now, I'm going to be also giving you guys a heads up. This weekend, we are going to have bonus Wrath coins. And my main will definitely be on it ASAP. Because besides farming for my renown, which I need when I get up there, I am going to be working on my best in slot. So with that being said, I am going to be very, very, enjoying this weekend's event. So if you are a DCUO player and you are enjoying the Atlantis DLC, look forward to the bonus Wrath coins this weekend and make sure that you capitalize on that.
The orange lantern of avarice is still gorging on this frivolous.
Of course he is. Oh, I didn't get to get it. Shit. It's all good. Hopefully this group works a lot better than last time I was in here. Last time it was a disaster. Oh, holy shit balls. Oh my god, and I got it. Yeah. Schlickums. Schlickums. So we have one big DPS. The other ones are kind of It's doable. Can we do it? It's a pug. Remember, I'm gonna pug.
Or shall we go take this fight to Typhon?
Boom, baby. Boom, baby. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go.
But you are right. Before we can fight Typhon, we need a weapon. Clearly, and a formidable one at that. Will the lightning bolt of Zeus be formidable enough for you, Circe? Other than his crown, it is the most powerful weapon in Olympus. You don't say. That's why we're here.
Getting a little scared, Mom. Boy, I'm getting scared, Mom. As long as I don't bottom out, man. Sometimes. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
Everyone, defend yourself.
Oh man, Joe's got nuts. Mounds don't be coos. What is this? I don't know. I honestly can't say at this moment. Get out of that. I don't want to be standing on vents. Tell me we got the one down. We don't have enough deeps, man. There's not enough DPS. I'm bottoming out. Yo, what's up, Cal? What's up, Jack? How you guys doing? This ain't gonna happen. Ah, this is Pug Life, baby. Not enough DPS. Not enough DPS. I'm out. Peace the hell out of here. This is what happens when you get in pugs, man. You get in and you think to yourself, I got this. I've got this. No, you don't. No, you don't. I mean, look at that. First boss, and I'm already out healing more than some of the damages. Look at this. Look at this. What is what? No, man. There's not enough. There's not enough. So, Cal, I was going over the prospectus today, and boy, brother, oh, it looks so good. Oh, it looks so good. You're a pretty good healer. Thank you. I try, I guess. I mean, I'm trying. Like, oh, snap. Oh, 600. I mean, I'm not even with the first boss. I've already got like 691,000 on. I'm out healing some of the TPS laid out. That's not supposed to happen. That's a bad sign. That's not good. That's bad. That's scary when DPS is that low. You're like, no. This ain't going down like this, homie. This isn't happening. It's not gonna happen. But hey, man, whatever. Oh my God, it's crazy. Yo, Waltz, what's up, brother? Dude, did you see that? Like, oh my God. I'm like, what is going on here? I'm literally asking myself, like, at this point. I'm like, I have never seen that low DPS. I'm thinking to myself, man, okay, it should be picking up sometime soon, right? I mean, I don't know if it's... I was like, okay, it should be picking up soon. I don't blame the troller. I think the troller was like, whatever. Except I was having to use my spam heal too much, I felt like. I was like, like, okay, well, I'm going to bottom out here. I'm going to bottom out there. Going to bottom out. Like, the hots are down. I don't know. I don't know. Could be me. Maybe I'm just rusty. Maybe I am. Maybe it's my healing on my Sork. Maybe I'm slacking. What do you think, guys? I don't know, man. I'm taking suggestions. Anybody got any suggestions that I should be switching out an ability or something? As far as gear-wise, I mean, I'm normal. I'm in a normal, you know, and I don't feel like it's, you know, I feel like if you have enough DPS, typically, and the rotation, I noticed the damage stats. Right. But is it me, Waltz? I don't know, man. Was it on my end? Because I felt like from the perspective and the stat sheet, I felt like I'm on par, but DPS wasn't. Or was that just me? Because I'm questioning it now. I'm like, okay, interesting. And sometimes my DPS, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, sometimes, man, I can mess up on a rotation as well. You know, I mean, things can happen. I don't play DPS a lot on certain tunes. So depending on my tunes, too, my DPS could be slacking. Back off.
I wanted that.
Aha! Didn't get me. I don't think it's on your end. Thank you. I didn't know, man. Because I'm looking at it and I'm looking at the sheet and I'm like, there's not enough deeps here, man. There's just not. Something's whacked. I mean, it's a pug and I get it. It's pug life. It never ends. Tis the season to make kids cry, la 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 la, or wah 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 wah.
Stupid villain, poopy head.
Stupid villain, poopy head. Hey, I'm doing it. Larfleeze is going to take his shit anyways. Why am I getting the blame? I'm doing the world a favor. I'm actually being a good guy. So Larfleeze doesn't take all of this. I was about to say, I'm getting ripped. See that? Look at those combos. Look at those combos.
I hate the winter
Uh-oh.
holiday.
Do. Fucking snow globed. I think I'll take the snow globe. That's worse than the snowman. The snowman you can't even break. Anybody notice that? You get snowman, you're screwed. You better hope you don't get on those one dudes, man. Like, the last thing you want to open is a friggin' get snowman during a friggin' those things dropping on you. You're like getting smacked around, you can't do nothing. Smack, 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 smack. Great, I'm a giant orange transparent snowman that can't do jack crap. Get it? Jack crap. Come on, man, that's funny. No? Maybe? Kinda? Sort of? Maybe? I thought it was pretty done funny. Man, I could have swore. Okay, hold on. There we go. Sorry I can't stay yet. I will come back tomorrow for an extended period of time. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that, Waltz. Thank you so much, brother. Yeah, I definitely understand. You know, real life is real life. I mean, I took a break, seriously, man. You know, I'm sitting there, I'm getting numbers, I'm getting quotes, I'm putting everything together. I still got a lot of work to do. It's not like a little bit. It's like there's a lot to do. And I tell people, man, like literally, I wish I could make it sound like it was fun, but it's not. It really isn't. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff to do, like on my end, as far as like grinding out paperwork. I did actually get to talk to a friend, which was a colleague of mine at one time, and he was kind of like pumped up about the whole thing. He was like, no way. And he works at a bank. He's a bank manager. So he was like, dude, seriously? And I was like, yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see. He's like, well, if anybody knows the number game. And I'm like, yeah, that's the idea, right? That's the idea. Put my my previous skills to work, I guess. It's been a minute. Look at me, man. Are you on anyways, Kel? I want to know if you're on. Are you on? I don't think I even added you yet on this tune. I need to add you. I'm adding you.
Space pirate monkey counting his gold. Use the shielded constructs to disrupt the energy beams from each emitter. That will temporarily.
Oh, it's already my friend. Don't you think DCO should change the content for the event-related missions, like those Valentine's Day, Christmas, and St. Patrick's Day? I feel like it should be added to the area. Yeah, that's that's with all the content in this game. I keep coming back to that, like the monotony, of it. The game gets a little monotonous because every DLC there's some similar aspect, except Starro. I actually like the Starro chain quest. I feel like Metropolis under Doom Metropolis was done pretty unique, but they're definitely, I don't feel immersed a lot of the times in the zone. I feel like it becomes like everything in there just becomes, like you said, tedious, monotonous. It feels like the same old. There's no feeling of being enveloped into the atmosphere. Like they do good in the zones. So that's what's always got me twisted. I'm like the zone's done good, the rewards are done good, the feats are done good, but when we take a look at how everything is set up, like it's like rinse and repeat. And can I blame the person who's doing that? No, not really. I feel like it's a group effort. Like they need to like literally sit there and debate what could give it a little bit more liveliness, I guess. Stupid Larfleas. Yo, man, someone want to... And what's yours is mine. Oh, shit. Alright, you see that? I was dancing like a fool.
Nice work. The Sinestro Corps can take it from here. Was he always that ugly, or did you focus
Was he
fire on his
always
face?
that ugly?
Yuck.
I got a new sweater, eh? Oh, I forgot to open this box. I already have it. Dang it. Alright. Like, I feel like they do a good job with the reward system in the game. The feats, sometimes, you know. But I just feel like, you know, the content's done well, but then the questing is like, bleh. Because like you said, tedious, feels stale. It feels like there needs to be like some injection more. Like, I need to feel it. Like, I need to feel like I'm doing something. Like, if I'm on a quest as a villain, I should feel like, you know, I'm doing villainous evil things. If I'm, you know, being a hero, I should feel like, you know, it's all on my shoulders. The Justice League or whoever is, you know, not readily available, and it's all up to you. It is your time to shine. And I don't feel that half the time. I really do not. And not even half. Like, majority of the time, I don't feel it at all. So, it kind of gets a little disappointing, I guess. Because you're like, when am I going to feel like I'm a part of this, like, universe? You know what I'm saying? Like, this big element to the DC universe. I don't feel like that. I don't feel like, you know, I feel the quality of the game is good. The performance is good. It's well polished. I like, you know, coming into Metropolis and Gotham. I love the atmosphere of the zones, but I don't feel like there's really, once you get past your questing and once you do like your bounties, what the hell is there in each zone? Right? Then you move on to a new zone, right? And you anticipate, you know, hey, I'm going to, you know, go to the new zone because I'm at that CR level. But then when you go there, it's almost still the same feeling. You keep grinding for gear. You keep doing the same things over and over and over again. And that's why I usually take a break from this game. I always come back. But why do I leave the game? It comes back down to one thing. It's just, it gets repetitive. It sometimes gets too monotonous. Like, what's the point? I mean, I'm going to ride around, wait for Q, get exobytes, do this, do that. You know? And for what? I have to ask. You know? You can queue up, you can do all this back stuff, which is cool. There's good content in the game. There is. Just seems really monotonous at times. I don't need any of those. Sometimes I'll just fly around and go exobyte farming too. Like, flying in this game's cool. Running in this game's cool. Acrobats, skimming. The movement feels amazing in the game. Probably one of the only games where I really enjoy not having a mount. I don't feel like I'm missing anything by not having a mounted system in this game. Like, your super speed and everything, you are the mount. You get to fly really fast. You get to do run really fast. You get to do amazing stuff in the game. So there's a lot to appreciate in this game. Unfortunately, though, you know, the graphics look good, I mean, they're not the best, but they fit. They make you feel like you're in a comic book, and that you're living in this world with Superman and Batman. What I would like to see is like if you go over a certain area, you get random mission. Superman notifies you. I see you're in this part of Metropolis. I need your help. You know, stop over at the thing and stop a jewelry heist. And all of a sudden, or a robbery. You come down here, and all of a sudden, there's a place for you to go in, and you're saving the day against a jewelry heist or a bank robbery. You know, villains, their notification. Hey, Joker's got an offer. Go hit the nearest bank, and I'll dispose of the security guards. And if we pull off the heist, you'll get 50 per. I'll share 50% of the loot with you or something. Something cool, man. Something cool. That would be epic. To make you feel like you want to be a part of like the environment in which you're playing in the zone.
You have been appropriated by the Suicide Squad. You will comply and work with the members of Task Force X until the objective is complete. Failure to do so will result in your termination.
Oh, we just lost somebody. Oh my god. Oh my god. Please no. We have enough DPS. I'll just heal. See how well I do in comparison to the other healer. Sometimes this will give me a good bearing of what's going on. Sometimes it's the only way you find out. That troller's doing really good. See. Oh yeah, 44,000. It's not bad, right? We got 2 healers.
Those pylons caretakers unactivated put some sort of shield on this guy. Maybe we can take him offline and remove his shield. Get ready for this, humdinger.
My advanced technology.
You know, Eskimo's a water healer too. So it's really going to give me a good idea how we're working. Because she has both burst and whatever. I'm throwing down hots and just topping off. That's how my rotation goes. Alright. We'll take the tactical gearbox. Yes, I said yes. Okay. I'm healing more, and I'm at a lower CR. So that's pretty good. We're looking pretty decent here initially. Lost our tank. Go figure. Can somebody at least get these things off me? I'm really hoping for a tank.
We've got this, Blackhawks.
No, we don't. I need a tank. I see bad things in my future. Choke point. There's actually people still know what a choke point is. Awesome. Don't in Elder Scrolls. I can guarantee you that.
Good work here, you inglorious Blackhawks.
By the looks of you, this will be over in a jiffy.
Look at that. Arrgh.
I'm mildly impressed.
I'm scared as hell.
The Allies have put up a valiant effort to
No tank.
Baron von
Oh my.
Savage shall rule.
I don't think so.
I don't
There.
think so.
My pals and I are here to make sure you get the old
Heave hope once for all. I am not hitting that thing first. You all can kiss my ass.
I will crush you like a bug.
Yeah. You have at it. Okay, he's a tank. We're good. I was getting scared. I was like, what?
Ready, aim, fire.
Fools, I am immortal. Pathetic.
some sense into
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
We have much to discuss. What is this?
Look at that! Oh, #1 healer. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's how DPS should. Well, I mean, we got a lot of DPS. In the process of determining who is the best candidate to be chosen for the internship, the company I applied to required us to do a wording test to ascertain our abilities to write good content. Huh. That's interesting. Well, I hope you get it, brother. I really do. I'm keeping my fingers crossed and wishing the best for you.
I'm gonna say something.
I mean, an internship, you know, and if you don't get it, don't beat yourself up too much about it. Remember, interns don't get paid, but you know, it definitely helps out. Didn't know companies could do that. Oh yeah, definitely. You know, because there's only so many spots of, you know, intern. You know, depending on the size of the company, how many interns can they put in? Remember, they're using other employees to help train interns. So interns have, you know, functions inside the company, but also they're getting hands-on experience. So even though you're not getting compensated for what you're doing, you're basically have on-the-job training. So, you know, it's basically saying, you know, we only have so many people that can, you know, train interns. So we can't, you know, do that. Yeah, I'm wishing you the best, brother, honestly. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, like, say my company got launched tomorrow and I have X amount of employees and we're going to take on interns. Well, I can't divert production, a lot of production for intern. Now, the interns will help for sure. That's what they're there for. You know, basically training and help the company alleviate some of that burden while they're training during the period of time they have their internship. But at the same time, if you divert too much of the resources into that, your production can be affected. So. But I hope you get it. And if you don't worry about it. You know, it looks good on a resume is what it is. It's not to say that, you know, your qualifications aren't there. It's just to say I've interned for this company. So it's saying that you have some experience within the field, some first-hand experience already. So that's all the internship is. The internship is basically saying, you know, plus it could lead to potential job opportunities within that company. So if you're going, like, say you did an internship for the company, you graduate college. Now later on, since you've already interned for the company, that could potentially open up a future position for you within that company. So, but it looks good on a resume if you have an internship, but it doesn't go against you that you didn't intern. So, I mean, it's not a company. When you're in an interview, you know, if somebody's in an interview, the first thing I'm asking somebody, did you intern? You didn't intern? Why didn't you intern? That's not, I don't care. It's just saying, hey, while I was in school, I had experience as an intern. Yeah, exactly. I just want more experience. Right. That's all it is. Like, I had to quit college. Well, I didn't have to, but I did. Plus, I was, like, getting really bored at school. I mean, I goofed off a lot. But, you know, I really didn't care. Grades were... one of my problems, my professor said, like, oh, my God, you don't even do any of your assignments. And I'm like, do I need to? And, like, I would pass my exams, and he's like, this is ridiculous. And I'm like, what? And he's like, you're passing all your exams and you're doing no work. And that just shows laziness. And I'm like, what if I'm bored? I mean, seriously? I mean, it seems redundant. Why do you do homework? You do homework to learn, right? And he's like, yes, Mr. Ford, that's what you do homework for. And I'm like, so if I know it, then why am I doing the assignment? And he's like, that's irrelevant. It's part of it's a percentage of your grade. And I'm like, I find it almost pointless, to be honest with you. And I literally, when my friend's mother, I was in, let me explain this. Like, I was at my friend's house. And my friend's mother was working in the field that I was studying for. And she's like, she didn't know I was going to college for that. She's like, so Gary, how's school this semester going for you? And I'm like, it's boring. It's fucking boring. And she's like, is that good or a bad thing? And I'm like, my grades are like shit. And she's like, why? And I'm like, because I don't do my assignments. I just go off of passing my exams. And she's like, well, why do you do that? And I'm like, I find it redundant. I find it like, you know, remedial. I find it almost kind of like blah. And also because I'm struggling to find paid work. Yeah, that's rough. You know, plus, you know, especially to, you know, to get work around your school schedule. Yeah, it definitely can be rough. But yeah, so all of a sudden, what ended up happening, she's like, well, do you mind taking like a couple of exams for me? Because what are you, no, she asked me, what are you studying? I said, oh, I'm in school for financing and economics. And she's like, say what? I was like, I'm in school for financing and economics. And she's like, I'm like, well, economics is my major, financing is my minor. And she's like, well, what do you do? I said, well, you know, I want to work somewhere in the, you know, the investment field. I either want to be an investment banker, a broker, or, you know, something in, you know, I don't know, anything like that. It was like at the time. And she's like, oh, that's excellent. And then she like perked her head. And she's like, do you mind if, you know, taking a couple tests so I could see it? I'm like, okay. She's like, I work for a company, and some of these tests would give us an understanding of, you know, how you place amongst our colleagues. I'm like, yeah, sure, I guess. And so I did a couple of these, like, you know, little test things and stuff. And the next thing you know, she's like, why are you in school? I said, I told you. And she's like, no. What I'm saying is you don't need to be in college. And I'm like, well, I need to be in college to get my degree so I can, you know, get a job. She's like, no, what I'm saying is you pass state preset state exams and boards right here. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, you don't need to be in school to get your series license, your certifications, is what I'm telling you. And I'm like, well, yeah, I know that. And, well, I mean, I know I'd pass them. But I thought I had to have, like, you know. And she's like, well, if you want to do this, yeah, if you want that title. But if you want to work in the field and make some money right away, drop out. And I did. And I was 19 and got hired in. I was the youngest at the time to work for the company. It was fucking crazy. But yeah, that's how I did it. I mean, it's not for everybody. I wouldn't recommend everybody just drop out of freaking college. But yeah. And then other shit went wrong, and then my life didn't take me where I wanted it to be. Let's put it that way. But yeah, she was awesome though. My first boss. I learned a lot too. That's awesome. So she just hired you right then and there. Well, I had to go to, she was my my director. But the boss, the owner of the company, was the one who actually hired me in. Well, not the owner. He's not an owner. He's like the big wig for the district. Like, we had a big office, right? Like a 3-story building. And I met the big wig. I don't even know his title. Like, he was overseeing the entire facility. But the company's like large. It's national. It's international. And he was, you know, whatever. I don't know if he was a partner or whatever. I don't know. But she referred me to him. He hired me in. And she was my district manager. The person who I reported to. You know, but the job wasn't what I anticipated. I did loans. So I was a mortgage specialist. So I did equity loans. So I got hired in. I did equity loans. I did, there's PNC insurance for homeowners insurance. So once I did the equity, I could tie you in, see if it could save you in on homeowners insurance. Then I could also do mutual funds and annuities, as well as, other things. So I had my Series 7, my Series 11, and my Series 13, and my state certifications and my federal clearance. So I had all of this done and all that shit. And so at that time, I could do a lot of different things. Plus, I had my life. So I had life, PNC, so I could do annuities. Because you need life insurance to do annuities. You need your series license to do your mutual funds, because that's considered stock. And there was just a lot to it. I need my state certification to do loans. So there was a lot of stuff to it. But being that young, I was at the bottom of the totem pole too. So I had to do grunt work a lot of times during slow things. So I did, I used to go to the records in the courthouses or whatever, public records, and I would do it's off the top of my head. I would do pre-authorizations. So if you ever got anything in the mail, you may not, but your parents may have, said you're pre-approved. So I did pre-approvals. So I would look up people's mortgages in the public records and on massive scale, and then I would determine the amount of equity within the area each people had, who the lenders were, and things like that, competitors, and who held the mortgages, if there was a secondary mortgage, if there was no secondary mortgage, how much equity was, when the loan was initially established, how much equity had been, how much equity should be available based on current APR configurations and things like that. So that's what I did during slow. So it was grunt work. I did a lot of grunt work.
Never mind. I'll direct this mission.
Then I also did one time in my life I did AD&D. Oh my god, never again. Ever. I felt so bad. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I would sell insurance riders. And I was selling accidental death. Oh my god, terrible, 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 terrible. Like, I don't mind ROP, but AD&D, hate it. ROP I was more than comfortable with. I felt like if it was a term policy, they should have an ROP if that rider was available.
Meddling pests. You're almost as annoying as the insufferable Justice Society. No matter. Savage's troops.
And then, of course, I was there during the whole recession. And the housing market went poof, because one thing that would come across my desk is over-evaluated estimates on homes. I'm like, this house is 100 years old. Why is the market value up this high for this house? Because of, and they're like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what my problem of it is, there's a new house down the road that's less than 2 years old. That's only has a $10,000 difference. I'm like, and I would bitch about it. I would actually literally bitch about that. And I'm like, and I was like, if the market ever drops, we're gonna lose millions on these homes because they're overinflated. The value of these, the price value of these homes are inflated beyond what we can even insure them for. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm like, no, not when I did grunt work. When you did grunt work, I never had help. No. I was the bottom of the totem pole. So that was my job. So while other people were, you know, doing follow-ups or what we call initializing leads or potential, you know, customers, like a lot of the times I would have to do like, you know what I like the resources, you know. Now, if I closed, I closed. I mean, I was salary. It didn't matter. I mean, unless I was trying to sell, you know, an added feature to the refi. If I was, let's say I was doing a full refi. Let's say they had a compound interest. Let's say they weren't going for a line of credit. So I could do a line of credit. I could do a full equity or a refinance. So we could refinance. We could go secondary mortgage, or we could do a line of credit. Now, depending on what I'm doing, that didn't really affect my pay. But if I was to redo their homeowner's insurance, I got a bonus for that. But you had training? Yeah. I guess. Yeah. I mean, they spent a day on me when I was in the records department. I pick up things pretty quick. So, I mean, it took them like less than a couple of hours to train me in the records department how to do my job. Anything else I didn't need training in. I understood paperwork. I mean, I took well, almost 4 years of accounting, and then I took everything else, so I knew how to read spreadsheets and everything. By the time I was 18, I could do full prospectus. I could write a full prospectus by the time I was 18. Like, I passed economics without even sweating.
Did you not foresee this, good doctor? Oh, and of course not. You can see everyone's face but your own. Pity. I'll give you a
But I was also an arrogant little asshole.
destiny.
I was a little dickhead. Which now I don't work in the field. So I don't work in the field anymore. I don't do that. And my wife has a similar background. She has a business degree and she worked in health insurance. I never did health. I studied for my health license, but I never finalized it. And she worked in health. She used to work for Humana.
Fate will not smile on those who stand by while evil triumphs.
So my wife did, she worked in insurance too, but she did, like I said, she worked in health. And then she worked in human resources and shit. But now she's a butcher. She went from an office worker to becoming a butcher. Go figure, right? Oh, how life deals its cards. One day you could have it all, and the next day, guess what? Tough shit. But you know what? Sometimes less is more. And it's fine. I tell people, enjoy what you have while you have it, because tomorrow you're not guaranteed to have it. And that's what I've learned the hard way. But, you know, like I said, you know, I learned at a young age, you know, not to be prideful, and I got rid of the arrogant. Well, I'm still arrogant, I guess. So I really can't. I'm narcissistic. So I've been told. I do believe it, but I'm narcissistic. I'm very competitive. Very. Like, I have to be the best of the best at all times. At all times. I'm really competitive. Like, I don't mind losing, and I don't whatever, but I believe, like, you should give 120%. You know? Like, if you should be setting your standard. If that makes sense. Like, don't settle for just, let's say you're everything's about sales at the end of the day, right? Everything it revolves around sales. No matter what. So let's say, you know, you're in competition with your numbers with a coworker, with Jack, right? And Jack, not you, Jack, Mark. Let's say Mark. Because you are Jack. Let's say you're in competition with Mark. One, you know, period. And all of a sudden, they're going to do a comparison, side-by-side comparison, you know, and all of a sudden you think to yourself, well, I've already beaten Mark's numbers for the month, and I have a week left. Like, I've doubled it. I've already doubled it. So I can afford to, you know, kind of slack off. To me, that was never an option, right? So I'm a type of person where, like, I can't afford to slack off. I have to try to beat my own record. I have to set the standard so high that it gets bragged in the office. And I've done that before. Where, like, well, you know, Ford hit these numbers, you know, last quarter. You know, da-da-da-da-da. Everybody's like, oh my God, oh my God. And I would be like, yeah, cool, you know, excellent. And, you know, like refis are really good. Like, I was really good with refis because, like, I could explain compound interest like no other mofo. And I always tell people the best aspect is when you're doing something for the greater good and you believe in it, right? Because if I could save people a couple $100 each month based on just from the compound effect, then I'm doing a good job. Because I'm saving them money, I'm making my company money, I'm securing my position. It's a win-win scenario. Plus, you know, I'm trying to set the standard. You're trying to set a standard. So you got to do good, man. You got to push these things, man. You really, really have to push it. It's about sales. At the end of the day, you're a salesman. People are buying into you. You know, me and you could be at it. Why are they going to buy from me? Why are they going to, you know, close with me? Why are they going to come to me versus coming to you? It's a sales approach. It's a person thing. It's about public relations, right? So you got to have good presentation. You got to have good confidence, and you got to be able to close, right? You got to give, you know, a sense of, you know, securing the person's, you know, nervousness. Am I making the right decision? Trust me, we got you. And them not regretting that decision. And I feel like I did that at one time in my life. I felt like that's what I was good at. So I always told people, it doesn't matter. People are like, you know more than me. I'm like, it doesn't matter if I know more than you. It's not about that. I could know, like, how to, you know, solve all the secrets of the universe. None of that shit would matter. None of it. It would be irrelevant in this business. And they're like, really? And I'm like, frick yeah. All of it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. I'm like, results make a difference, man. Just, it's all about production and giving the customer what they're wanting. I can't sell a customer what they don't want. Because if you do that, now you have, it's terrible. Was it hard to decide these things? I guess if you're asking, like, which direction to go, not for me personally. At first it was a little, I think, awkward, right? You kind of, like, I guess I kind of went where life took me. And to this day, I'm not where I want to be in my life. Not by a long shot. I'm not where I feel like I should have been. Because I had bigger dreams and bigger ambitions. But I understood things happen for reasons. And no matter how you may look at things, you need to, you know, there should be some sort of resolve with your decision in which direction you're going or attempting to. So I felt like where life put me was where I was intended to be. So in that essence, I don't have regrets. So there's no form of regret. Because in the end, you know, what is any form of success? Because a lot of people are like, would you view yourself successful? I'm like, by whose definition? Because by my definition, I've done everything which led up to this point. And I'm like, so in the back of my mind, at least I've done what I felt like I was supposed to be doing. And in that essence, yes, I consider myself somewhat successful. Not fulfilled, but somewhat successful. But at the same time, you take a look and, you know, what do you expect out of the world? I mean, no matter what your success is, inevitability still plays its ugly role, right? No matter how much money you gain, no matter how much success you were, no matter how many people know you, you still share the same fate. What if we lose hope? I'm getting so stressed out already. Don't lose hope. See, that's the thing, Jack. This is what I'm trying to tell you, man. When you take a step back, right? Be proactive, right? Have confidence. And then with that, you will somehow find a way. It's funny because I'm not a person who believes in destiny, right? I'm not. I think you got to make things happen. You got to shake things up. You got to push. You got to push. But like right now, I'm in the middle of, you know, this prospectus. I'm in the middle of trying to do something bigger than myself. Because for me, what is this? You know, what is this? This isn't for me. This is for more, that it's bigger than me. And it may not come to fruition. And I'm more than aware of that. I'm a realist. Would it bum me out that it didn't happen? No. I'd feel bad that, you know, we couldn't make it happen. But at the point, I feel like at least I put forth the effort and I did everything I could. And with that, you know, I'm at ease with that. So then I can go from there and let that be a lesson, another lesson that I've learned in life, or something I've accomplished in life that just didn't, you know, it didn't, you know, bear fruit. You know what I'm saying? I planted the seeds and the tree grew, but it didn't bear fruit. So, you know, you can only do so much. So keep that in mind, man. Keep that in mind. Don't lose hope. There is a lot of stress out there in today's economy. There's a lot of stress for the next generation, how we're losing jobs. I keep implementing this into a lot of talks that I have with people. I'm like, you know, we're advancing through technology, but we're losing sight of humanity in the process. And I'm like, we're doing everything shopping online. I'm guilty of this. But we're putting retail businesses, you know, we're taking retail and shutting businesses down based on our shopping habits. But we're not redirecting employment elsewhere. So for these people who are losing jobs in this field. And this is very much a concern moving forward. Like, how are we're going to have a problem because we're going to become so advanced that we have technology doing 50% of our work for us, whether it be on the phones, whether it be through robotics, whether it be through internet sales, through entertainment, no matter what, we got 50% of technology taking over the workforce, but these people can't even afford to live because they have no form of employment. That's sad. So we have to use technology, train people, and find ways to be more productive and reduce inflation. I always tell people we need to take a look at how inflation applies. And I studied inflation for years. How we take a look at inflation, and we need to reverse its effects and the amount of work required for the average work day per individual. This way we can utilize more individuals more sparingly, become more productive, and reduce the cost of inflation in the living, thus keeping people employed, basically. It's very complex. I'm trying to put it in a layman's terms as best as I can. But ideally, it's kind of what we need to, like, our pinnacle point in which we need to take a look at the future. So we just have to accept failure and learn from our mistakes. Don't accept it as failure. Okay? That's one thing I always tell people. If you learned anything, is it failure? If you didn't learn, then you failed. But if you learn something, if you make the attempt, right, and something goes wrong, what did you learn from it? How can you grow? Right? How can you take something that didn't happen or fall into place and apply it towards something else moving forward? And that's my family's perspective on it. Like, my family's like, my grandpa's like, keep in mind, my grandfather was a drill supervisor, right? He worked at a coal mine. And he owned a bar, he owned business too. But there for the longest time, he was a supervisor. And he's like, I'm just a backwards kind of guy. And he's like, and he was really smart, actually. But he's like, and he was a businessman. But he's like, but I have to, he's like, what's the point in having the drill? He's like, I'm going to drill a hole. I'm told to drill the hole here. We're told that this is the location which we're going to be drilling. Unfortunately, sometimes we just come up with nothing. No matter how deep we go, sometimes we're not going to yield what we were forecasted to produce. Was it my fault? No, because I just went where I was told to dig the fucking hole. And I love that analogy. I love that analogy because was it his failure because of that? No, and absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the person's failure. No, because they found, it over here. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be over there. So, yeah, that's just so depressing. It just requires us to show employers that we are better than the technology or just give up. I think we need to adapt, is what I'm saying. I don't think it's about the employers as much as it is about society learning to adapt with technology. And how employment has to adapt, how the economy has to adapt to the ever-growing technology. So I feel like, imagine it. There are labor jobs that are being replaced by robotics, right? Every day. But we still have 3 shifts of 8-hour workdays. So imagine you're a technician working in the plant, servicing these robotics, these robots. Why are we putting 3 people to work for 8-hour days when we could put 4 people to work for 6-hour days? This way we open up another form of employment for an individual who didn't have a position. Does that make sense? So even though we don't need everybody on the line because the robots are doing the manufacturing aspect, why would we still not need people to oversee that things are being done within specification? And why wouldn't we give less work or make it more functional for people who work well over and give another position to an opportunity, to another person? So imagine a technician. I don't know. I'm just throwing ballpark figures out there. Imagine there's 3 shifts of 8-hour days, and that consists of 24 hours. So the plant runs 24/7, right? So, well, let's just say 5 days a week. 24-hour days, 5 days a week. So there's your 40 hours, right? So all of a sudden, though, those people are making $70,000 each. So why wouldn't we taper down their wage just a little bit, to justify putting somebody in. So let's say, let's even say 60,000 between 3 people. Why wouldn't we want to go ahead, taper their wage down like by 15, cause deflation, right? The cost of living becomes reduced, due to the economic circumstances. And now we're putting another person at work for the equivalent amount of pay. So now we have one other person employed for 4 shifts of 6. So it's still 24 hours, right? The production's still being met. You're still having the people in the positions that need to be there, except we're putting more money, we're putting more people to work. Yo, what's up, Real? We're putting more people to work on top of keeping taxes implied. It's just not fair. What's not fair, though? I mean, a lot of things aren't fair. I feel like that every day. It's not fair. I mean, I know. It's the world. But I'm thinking on a bigger scale. I'm thinking bigger. I'm thinking like, hey, man, we can keep people employed. We can, progress. We just gotta. Where there's a will, there's a way. Right? Where there's a will, there's a way. I believe that. I always told people, man, and I can't give all the details out because then I'd be like, oh, I can't do that. I used to study that. That was like my thesis I was working on at one time. And I can't do that. I can't give out all my secrets. But, seriously, there's a lot, there's a bit, when we're taking a look at, it's easier to say on a micro level than a macro. Right? I mean, it really is. And when we're talking about international trade and tariffs and everything else, there's a lot more to it. What's good, Mystic and Jack? They need to add a new 4 player and an 8 player to the seasonals. Yeah. It's not a bad idea. To break up the monotony. I agree. There's a lot to it. There really is. I mean, and I hope you're doing good today, Jeffrey. And same with you, Real. I mean, there's a lot to it. There really is. I mean, and I know it's just not. I mean, seriously, like where I'm at in my life, I didn't think it was fair. I felt like I was pissed. I'll be honest. With my circumstance, I can't get into everything. But the way things played out for me, I was really at one time upset. I was more than mad. I had plans, like big plans, and things didn't go the way I anticipated it. It just didn't. And I thought to myself, that's not right, man. Why? Why did this have to happen? Why? This is just not where I wanted to be at. And then, I just don't know what the direction my career is headed. I don't know if I'm taking the right path. You know what, Jack? You need to have security. Don't listen. You're still in school, man. Listen, you're still finalizing your education, and you're up for internship, and you gotta have. Listen, confidence is half your battle. Once you have confidence, listen, man. Confidence is half the battle, because nobody wants somebody who's wishy-washy. Everybody wants somebody who's confident. You know why? Because even when they make a mistake, they're quick to correct it. Right? Confident people who make mistakes are quick to fucking rectify that shit quick. Why? Because they don't want to go out like that. That's not how a confident person wants to be remembered. Oh shit, he made the biggest mistake ever. Nobody wants to do that, so they'll be quick to rectify it. So just be confident. Confidence is half the battle. And if things don't happen as you anticipate them, right? Take it as a progressive process. Take things in perspective to say, hey, this didn't happen the way I anticipated it. What am I doing? I just got out of a raid and I was bullshitting, but I need a requeue. So I just did Justice for All. So I need to do, I did Ultimate Soldier. So I still got to get through the Olympian ones. I was #1 DPS too, or #1 healer. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And I beat a 198 out water. Oh yeah, Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. See, my rotation's tight. Do 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 do. But yeah, I mean seriously, just you know, take a step back. Like I'm doing a lot of work right now, number crunch. I've got a like seriously. When I open up my Excel, I'm like, holy fuck. You know, I get all these quotes and I get all this stuff and I'm talking to so many people and, you know, I'm trying to make things, open up doors and make sure things are, you know, put in a, you know, relatively in a very good place, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? And it seems easier than what it is, but then when you're crunching everything, there's a lot more detail to it. And you want to make sure it's perfect. Yeah, you're set on it. And it may not happen. No matter how perfect I am, no matter how meticulous I am with every single detail, down to the fine print, right? Something might not follow through. And I have to be aware of that. And I have to be okay with it. And so long as I understand that I'm putting forth my best efforts to try to do something good for me, my community, and the investors, then I'm more than satisfied even if it doesn't come to fruition. And that's the way you have to look at it. If things don't happen, you need to move in a direction to say, where do I go from here? I'll start off with this. It's like I tell somebody, imagine you want to be a pro football player, right? Not say you do. I mean, in your eyes, it would be soccer. Imagine you want to be a pro soccer player, right? But you've never stepped foot, you never played the game of soccer. It's always been your dream to be a pro soccer player, but you never played soccer. What's the first thing you got to do? You just can't walk into the pros and be like, hey, I'm here, sign me on. You know, I'm here to become a pro soccer player. Well, the first thing you have to do is what? Learn how to play the game, right? Once you learn how to play the game, now you have to get on a team. Well, once you get on a team, now you got to, you know, go from one team to the next team to get recognized. So you need high traffic notification. And you got to have, you know, you got to try to improve your game. You got to work on fundamentals. You got to try to do the best you can do to reach that goal. So you have to have, you know, you have to have a plan. You have to plan things out. And you ever notice, like in pros, they always trade pro players, because pro players always want the better deal, right? What's best for them. And I know it's selfish, but at the same time, it moves them. It keeps them employed. It keeps them relative within the dynamics of the sport. So it sucks, even if you're a fan, like say you're a big fan and your favorite soccer team is this team, and all of a sudden your favorite player just gets traded, and you're like, oh my God, and you're so pissed. I mean, what can you do, right? What can you do? He's looking out for his best interest, and you can't blame an individual for that, right? He's doing what he has to do to have job security, you know? There's nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Because he doesn't know when his last game is. He doesn't know. You never know when your last game is. So you need to do everything you can to get there and hold on to it as long as you can. So that's all you're trying to do, man. That's everything in life right there. Do what you know, improve upon yourself to get where you want to be. And even if you don't get where you want to be, I mean, think about it. Think about little Mike, man. Little Mike wanted to always play for the Dallas Cowboys, right? Football team. But he gets picked up by the Cleveland Browns. Is he going to tell Cleveland Browns, no, I'm never going to be a pro football player for you because you're Cleveland? Hell no. He's going to get on the Cleveland Browns, try to be the best player he can be for the Cleveland Browns, and hope that he can become a free agent and the Cowboys will sign him. That's his next goal. He didn't get picked up by the Cowboys. He wanted to be a Cowboys player, but is he a Cowboys player? No, he's not a Cowboys player. So instead he has to settle. He has to settle for being a Browns player, right? And I know I'm picking on Cleveland Browns. I get it. But he has to settle for being a Browns player in hopes that one day the Dallas Cowboys will recognize his skill and offer him a contract. There you go. That's the best way to look at it. That's the best way to look at it. So it's about the hustle. Do the hustle. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, y'all know it. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, I know it's easy for people to sit there and say, LeBron, why'd you leave Cleveland? Why? You just came back. And LeBron's like, but I'm playing for the Lakers. It's always been my dream to play for the Lakers. That might be his reasoning. Who knows? It might not just be the money. It could be. But, hey. Yeah, life is like that. Right. That is life. That's why I said you need to keep positive. Right? That is life. That's how you have to process. That has to be your perception on everything. You have to think that way. I mean, hell, there's days that I think to myself, what the fuck am I doing here? When I came to Elder Scrolls, I asked myself that every fucking day. Why am I here? Why? With no direct answer. None. Absolutely none. And then one day, I said, somebody's got to do it. Thanks for sharing your perspective. I hope it helps. I mean, it may not, but I hope it does. I want you to stay positive. Keep positive. Don't be a person being like, oh, what if not? And nobody likes that. It'll put you in a bad mood. You'll end up getting depression and all sorts of bad stuff, man. Don't do that. Terrible. Terrible for your health. Take it from a person who just sometimes just wants to cry himself to sleep being around people. I'm not the best person when it comes to being around people. I'm just not. I'm like, oh no, please don't make me do it, please. And I'm crying. No, stop. Why isn't this opening? You bastards. Well, at least I got a weapon for that. And some marks. They finished it off, but whatever. But yeah, seriously, don't be down and out, man. Life is too short to be depressed. Now, anxious, nerves, you can't control nerves all the time. I'll tell you that. If people got any type of problem like that, seek help, man. Get professional help. Seriously. I always tell people, man, if you need help, please, there's a lot of help out there. Go get it. Go check it out. A lot of things are getting scary, though. The way, don't get me started. It's kind of bad that, we live in that type of environment. Ugh, people. I know, right? Oh, my God. I'm not a people person. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I can be. I'll put it this way. I'm there to do whatever I have to do for the people. Like, my one friend's like, why are you doing this? Like, asked me today, why are you trying to create this company? I'm like, for jobs, for people. He's like, that's very noble. I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that. And he's like, yeah, it's actually kind of a good thing. You're right, about this whole thing. I said, yeah. I mean, you should see the paperwork, You should see what I'm doing. You should see the numbers I'm pulling up. Holy fuck. So, all of a sudden, he's like, but what do you, I'm like, you put people in these positions, right? And you do what you got to do, and you help them out, and you just get to the nitty gritty of it. Like, I'm a person that I'm there to help you, but I'm not there to hold your hand. Okay? I am not that person. I am not that type of person. So I always tell people, I will explain something to you. I will help you. And then I'm like, but you don't want me around you for too long. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because then my help becomes asshole. And then you're like, I hate him. He's such a jerk. He's a know-it-all. He's an asshole. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I try to warn people. Like, listen, if you need something, ask me. If you don't, you might not want to ask me. That's my honest opinion. I'm like, and I'm honest about it. People hate me for it. That's why people hate me in Elder Scrolls. Man, Kel, did I not rub it in their face? I used to rub it in their face. I'll be honest with you guys. I'd be like, you fucking idiots. There's no diminishing return. Oh, look at this. This is best in slot. Oh, you fucking morons. And I would live off of it because I enjoyed rubbing it in people's faces. And people hated me. They all hated my fucking guts for it. They're like, fuck you, Mystic. You're not know-it-all. Fuck you. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. You guys were trolling me. You guys were saying I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about, remember? Fuck you. Fuck you, Mystic. And I'd be like, and I'd just be like pouring more salt in their wounds. The more they would cuss me out. And, and it's an asshole attitude. And I enjoy it. That's what's sick about it. Like, I think that's what makes me sick for it. Because I enjoy, like, my kids never want to admit I'm right. They're like, someone's like, well, let's ask your dad. And they're like, no, don't ask my dad. And I'm like, ask me what? And they're like, nothing, Dad. We're not asking you any fucking thing. I'm like, what? What do you mean? I'm like, somebody said my name. What are we talking about? And they're like, no, nothing, Dad. Nothing. And I'm like, God, you guys act like I'm so horrible. One of the first to figure it out, right? Oh, and they hated me. They're just like, fuck you, you're a bastard. And I'm like, God. Like, people are just so mad. I did rub it in pretty heavy, though. I'm not gonna lie. I love. And I don't mind being wrong, though. That's the funny thing. It's not like I have to be right. I don't feel like that. Like, there's no ego thing. I just like pouring salt on wounds. Like, a lot. People are like, oh, we hate you, Mystic. Oh, we hate you so bad. They hate me. I was one of the most, I would get it like a shitload of views. You know what? If I go hop on Elder Scrolls right now and I PvP, I guarantee you in an hour, I hit like 100 views, right? I'll probably get about 20 something, 30 on this stream, right? I go to Elder Scrolls, I'll get 100. Yeah, sure. Yeah. But they hate me. They're cussing me out the entire time as well. But so I block them, and then, we hate you more, and then they'll come on my stream and teabag me in the middle of the air, even though I'm not dead, and do some crazy shit. It's, ugh. And then I'm toxic. And they're like, oh, you're so toxic. I'm like, obviously. I'm the problem here. You deserve to. What, like, throw it in their face? Yeah. No, they don't think so. I was just talking to my friend about that today, too. And I'm like, you know that Slode's Torox pack combo? He's like, yeah, I hate that build. I'm like, I came up with that build first. He's like, no, you didn't. I was like, yes, I did, dude. I'm like, go check out my channel and check out the timestamp. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I had like 60, 70 people when I was telling them what I was going to do because people said I couldn't like scale up Oblivion damage. And I'm like, bullshit. Now watch what I can do. You guys, man, I'm about to make this fucking cancerous as fuck. And people were like, no. And then they were talking about it on Gillian before he fucking went to Zoss. Wow, how? You're a bully. I'm not a bully, though. I don't antag. Well, a lot of people do like how I do, because I do I'm an instigator. Let's put it this way: I'm not a bully. I'm an instigator. I like that word better. So I do have a problem instigating. I don't want to. I'm trying not to be that person, but you know. I do have a problem. What shields are group shields? In this, on my loadout? Is that what you're referring to? On this one, it's the Boon of Souls. Yeah, you deserve to rub it in. You took a lot of shit, and it turned out you were right. Outcast was completely wrong. I know. I know. But hey, they'd be like, oh, Mystic, we hate your guts. We hate you, Mystic. We hate you. Die. Die, Mystic Raven. Die, you bastard. Yeah, whatever. I always said, you know, a lot of times they just kind of do what I would do anyways. So, whatever. Whatever. But, hey, I wish them the best. I really do. But I remember coming in that game and people would be like, it's best in slot. What's best in slot? This is. I'm like, how is it best in slot? I'm like, we have indifferent values. What's indifferent values? Are you fucking kidding me? Did you go to school? Yeah, I went to school. I'm like, did you study anything in, you know, this type of math? No. Well, why would I do that? Well, I'm like, well, I'm just saying there, bud. Like, there's indifferent values. So, best in slot on a, you know, open-ended game? What's open-ended? I don't know. This? Yeah, you just scratching your fucking head. Mike, I'm a slave to the numbers, god damn it. Don't make me do math. Like in this game, I love this game. But in this game, we had the same thing. Everybody would be like, what's your skill points? And I'm like, is it relative? Well, yeah. And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess it is to a degree. And they're like, what do you mean to a degree? I'm like, well, there's a diminishing value associated. What in the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, what do you, huh? I just like fall over like in my desk as I'm on the mic, like what? Oh no, we have one of those people. Look at my eyeball, it's still attacking it. Good eyeball. Keep getting him, eyeball. Little fucker's doing 200 and bit something damage. I wish I could see how much life my ball has. But that's why I always loved my boy. I loved my dude over there. Friggin' oh shit. It's off the top of my head. My European brother. I still need to do a couple things. Stop talking about the diminishing value. I know. But you know, like I said, I'm a slave to numbers, man. I am like really bad with math. I mean, no, I'm not bad with math. Like I hate when people ignore things that are blatant. I hate it. It gets on my fucking nerves.
Or shall we go take this fight to Typhon?
Like when I used to read, okay, so growing up, let's put it this way. When I was in junior high, I used to read the Wall Street Journal. I'm not lying. So my grandpa would get the Wall Street Journal, and I think that's kind of where I knew I wanted to do something relative within the field, right? Because I remember looking at the stock papers, because that's mainly what the Wall Street Journal has in it, is a lot of stock, right? And I was like, whoa, Zai, yeah, that's my boy. Yeah, Zai. Thank you. I went dumb there for a minute. So, all of a sudden, I would look at, you know, NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange. And then from there, I was really interested in how these numbers were calculated. And what gave these numbers, you know, the relevance, you know, of, you know, the value. And I felt like that's something I was like determined to find out was, you know, why is the stock valued at that? No, just shields in general. Well, each like how much do they have? I'd have to test that. I'm wondering, I think they all should have pretty much the same value, I'm thinking. Gotta go. Nice talking to everyone. Definitely. Thank you, Jack. And keep that head up, brother. Don't let things get you down. You gotta believe. If you believe, then you can achieve. Tupac Shakur, remember it. Gotta keep your head up. Oh shit. I can tell my troller died. So he's not getting debuffed. Dude just biffed it. Did it! Dude fucking dropped out. We just pulled it off. Hell yeah, bitches. What's up now? What's up now? Hell yeah. I just got a weapon. I got a trinket. So fuck. Take the Athena statue. Screw it. In lower levels, can a tank survive a boss one shot or no? And if so, at what level would it almost be balanced to really do it in high content? So, comparable shield system. You got me questioning now if the CR would, because how the scaling system works on the shield for CR placement. So, you know what I'm going to do, Jeffrey? I'm actually going to go on PTS tomorrow and determine how much the shields, if the shields scale from CR or if it has a flat value. So tomorrow, I'm going to check that out. So now you actually, because in this game, in Elder Scrolls, it's based off health, determining shield size. But in this game, what's the contributing factor to the shield system? So now you actually have me interested. Most of the time I never question it in a game like this as much, but you now have piqued my interest. And I am an investigator of these things, and I shall find out the truth. I shall find it out, damn it. Because now I need to know. So now I must know. I must find out. And I shall. Thank you. You've given me something to look forward to tomorrow. Besides the event. Keep in mind the event. Double Wrath coins. Ting, ching, 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 ching. Hey, by the way, Cal, did you make a new character yet? And if you did, what did you decide to go? And if you didn't, I like your feedback. I've come to my doom. 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 I only need to do 2 bosses, but you know, 3 bosses. Oh, 2. But I'll still do the last one. I'm a friendly kind of guy, even though I don't need it. I don't care about anything but my power. So you best believe my power better be all up at all times. I need my troll. Yeah, I'm going to have to take a look at that, Jeffrey. Just because I don't have the viable answer. And I'm not going to give you false information. But I'm going to be on, I'll go on PTS tomorrow and I'll check it out for you. Because now I want to know. I have to know now. Because I don't have the answer. And it's going to drive me nuts not having that answer. And that would determine hit too. So there's ways of determining, like, so for a tank, if it's a scaled system off, let's say toughness, for example. So, or I'm being domination. Let's say, and it should be dom. I want to say that dom's the effective shield. Yep, shield base multiplier. I knew it! I knew it! See? I was like, it's dom, right? Yeah. So, technically, tanks should actually have more relevance with the shield system. How much will depend on the amount of dom. Now, what's the percentage value relevant to as the total amount into the shield system? I do not have that as of yet. However, I will. And that's another reason why healers want dom as well. Because if I'm a healer and I'm using shield system, I really do want to bank a little bit into the dom. A lot of people take it all the way to the healing, but keep in mind we have a diminishing value. And why do I have 2 tanks in 2 different directions? I'm dead. I have 2 tanks literally in opposite directions. Like, what the flying fuck is going on here? I can't keep healing people. If I got one person over here, I got a ground effect. Oh my god. The only thing I'm supposed to be doing is putting on a fucking tank. And they... the Minotaur is what's supposed to be tanked. Why? The tank's supposed to be on the goddamn Minotaur pulling away. Nothing else is supposed to have aggro. Everything else is supposed to be kind of floating. God. It's pug life. Yeah, it's not my fault. You guys can blame me if you want. Looky, I have the Minotaur on me. And I'm stoned. And DP, nobody is breaking anybody. Should I put myself through this headache? Because high-end, full SP, a CR tank should be able to eat 1 shot from a boss. Should. Well, I mean, it'll mitigate. The way shield system is, there's supposed to be spillover that's applied. I can't do it, man. This is just stupid. No. God, I can't do it. Yeah, so DOM is the effective percentage applied to the base of the shield. How much mitigation is absorbed and how much is spilled over on should be relevant. Elder Scrolls, we have a problem with shield system. There's no spillover damage applied, which most games spillover will apply. Now, that's not to say block is also another form of mitigation. So I could have a shield applied, base percentage equivalent to increase the shield's strength. Then, I'd have to calculate that and verify. And then block would reduce the amount of damage applied. Now, if I wasn't blocking, how much damage would spill over is the depending of value on the mitigation from the base. So let's say my shield could absorb 10,000 and I took 20,000 damage. 10,000 would go over onto me. It's supposed to. It's called spillover, right? It's called spillover damage. So the shield a shield system is not supposed to absorb 100%. If a shield takes 10k and there's 20, there's not supposed to be. So there's something going around on the forum, and if it's true, it's ridiculous. Oh, please enlighten me. You have my attention, Cal. Please spill the beans. So, ideally, Jeffrey, in an ideal situation, as long as it's programmed right, as long as it's coded correctly, right? As long as it resolves correctly, your shield is supposed to take the maximum amount that it can. Any applied excess damage is supposed to spill over onto you. So it's called spillover, right? If it's coded right. Now in Elder Scrolls, that's not the case. It's bugged. It's been broke. It's broke since day uno. Now, block mitigation usually takes half the amount of damage unless there's another stat that further reduces mitigating effects. So block itself, by standalone, would absorb 50% of the damage applied to you directly or indirectly. However, that's to say there's an indirect form of damage that ignores mitigation. Now that can also be, as well. But let's say that, direct damage is applied, block would absorb half. If there's another stat that affects that, like resistance or domination, that would further increase mitigation, then that percentage value would also further reduce the amount of damage taken on block, if that makes sense. So, those are determining factors in mitigating formulas. They are saying if you go to the guild search and put your own name in, it stops the auto guild name refresh and cuts way back on the lag. What? Shut the fuck up. Pugs get me mad sometimes. Yeah, really. Yeah, I get mad at pugs. It's pug life, baby. And it's been working for me. Been in Cyrodiil for about an hour and have hardly seen any lag. Are you frigging serious? Oh my God. If you go to the guild search and put your own name, oh my God. What? Oh. So basically, let me get this straight. So we're saying there's a network. The network, no matter in which grid you're on in the node. So there's grids like laid out in the node, right? So let's say we have a unified node, right? Cyrodiil, for example. Cyrodiil, let's say it's a unified node, or a partition of the node. So let's say the partition of that node, there's grids that's laid out right? And they're saying that no matter what part of the grids that you, from grid A to grid C, your registry in search is constant, is what it's saying. That's basically the gist of it. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. Gina even responded in the thread saying they're looking into it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Because if that's true, if it's true, the search is basically constantly looking for you. And it's a memory leak is what it is. It's a huge memory leak. No way. No fucking way. No way. No way. Really? No. 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 Oh my god. Boy, that's an oversight. Hey, did you find yourself? I don't know. Let me look. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm going to have to check that out. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm going to check out that shield system tomorrow, Jeffrey, because now I'm curious. I'll have to break all of that down to find the exact value and how much the, how effective, point placement is. Because gear configuration is not going to change. So, upon gear configuration, I would say it would be irrelevant. But when we're taking a look at, point placement configuration, that could be determining. That could be a determining factor for sure. Especially if you're running, shield rotation system based on weapon proc and ability setup. So, it's definitely worth looking into. I would definitely... About to get off here, sorry. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to, take a look at that, Jeffrey, because you piqued my interest. Usually I go by, almost, the gear is a set value. So if I'm putting in any into Dom, it has multiple applications for a tank anyways. So I never really stopped to think about the intentional value difference between point percentage applied to determine whether or not if it's relevant or irrelevant. So yeah, it's definitely worth looking into. But yeah, Kel, that's oof. Wow. Holy flip. The theory is that it constantly searching the list. Yes, you're searching for yourself. So when your name's on the list, you're always on the memory. Doesn't need to search, cutting down the lag. Right. It's basically, yeah, it's a memory leak is what it is. So you're clearing the cache out of search for searching any other potentials. So you're isolating it's exactly it. You're isolating it to yourself, right? Dumping the leak and isolating it because it's eating up on the RAM. So they're saying the process is nothing's being resolved due to RAM. So, or direct memory. Shows how hard they look into fixes, eh? If that's the case. Right. So what I find, and this is why they need, they should have implied the buffers. Like when you see load screens, okay, so check this out. Anytime a load screen comes up, I'm sure you've seen them. Like you're in the middle of a battle and a load screen comes up. What the load screen's supposed to do is dump your RAM on console. On here you can actually, on PCs you can actually do UI, your UI dump, right, manually to dump your memory. So you can do it manually on PC. But on console, when you see a load screen, that's what it's supposed to be doing. Load screen is supposed to be dumping or refreshing your memory. It's supposed to be refreshing your memory because there's memory leaks. And that will, if this is true, this is it's not dumping the memory. It's a leak that's bleeding through it. And I'm like, that doesn't make fucking sense to me, man. Like, how wouldn't you've caught that? You know? I mean, you would, if you're running, data, like if you're looking at the data that's, being populated during, like, say you're watching somebody, like you're doing an observation, you can see how much memory is being processed, right? How much memory is being utilized in that scenario, right? So if you see how much memory, why wouldn't that? I'm telling you, my bars are swapping smoothly and barely had any lag except when I ran into 2 Zergs fighting at a keep. Even then, it wasn't nearly as bad in prime time even. Ooh. But I just don't understand why that was overlooked for years, if that's the case. I'm not understanding how that was an oversight. How did that one pass them up? Because that's a memory leak. That's what it is. It's a leak. Well, and I've said that they've had memory leaks. I didn't know it was that one. But, I mean, holy fuck. If somebody found that, though, that's impressive. I'll tell you what, I'll give it up to the dude who found it. Holy shit. I guarantee you, if that is the incident and the isolated scenario, that would resolve a lot of problems. Not to say it'll completely diminish everything or resolve 100%, but once again, that would be a huge fix. That would be a huge fix, absolutely. Damn, man, amazing, simply amazing. Give it up to the players. Woo woo! Wow. Genius. Ingenious. Dude was a genius, whoever found it. If it's, yeah, crazy. All right, guys, I got to get going. So just that time for me. But I do want to thank everybody for stopping in. No idea. Someone posted it, and it caught fire. I bet. It's a memory leak. Like, seriously. Like, yeah. Thanks for looking into that for me. Yeah, Jeffrey, I'll be looking into that tomorrow for sure. Because you piqued my interest. And these are the things that I'm like, I really sometimes, I overlook some of those things in linear-based formats, but you did pique my interest, and, like I said, percentage value invested into SP could be relevant based on those findings. So, yeah, I'll take a look into it for sure. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here, and I do want to thank everybody for stopping in. Once again, I'm Mr. Craven. This is Mystic MMOs. Thank you guys so much. And as always, have a nice day.